Hello, welcome to the John Show Inc. And we are doing a quick review on this Technics SL-1200GR. I'm sorry, Technics SL-1210GR turntable. I've only had it a very short while, a couple days. Um, the first thing I did when I received it was I put it on the table right next to my AudioTechnica table turntable that's supposed to be exactly like the original SL-1200 MK2, but the AudioTechnica version, which I bought like maybe 12 years ago, and it was like $200-300. It wasn't much at all. Now it's like basically the same. And the first thing I noticed was that one weighs as much as this one, the GR. Now the Technics SL-1200 MK, what is it, the MK7, that one they say is like 19 pounds, and this one they say is like 25, the GR. The Audio Technica turntable was maybe it was a tiny little bit less. It could have been the same weight as the 1200 MK7, but it felt very close to the weight of this. I mean, it was like pretty much even. I mean, I wasn't on a scale, but just going by feel. So I was like, wow, I thought this one would be a lot heavier than that one. So, and look at that at them side by side. Well, first of all, I hate the black turntable. I like the silver because it matches my stereo system, which is all vintage and it's from the 70s. It's all silver. And messing with this and playing this at nighttime when it's dark in here was a perfect example of another reason why I don't like it, which I didn't even know of until now because I experienced this turntable. It's hard to see the needle at night, the stylus, to see if there's dust on it to wipe it down when playing, like a long period of time and jumping from vinyl to vinyl. So with the silver one, I could see it, when it's dark, and I could brush it off. This black one, I can't see shit. And they got to boot, they got the blue lights instead of the red. I like the red better, a lot better, especially if it was black. Like this is black, so I would prefer red lights. But apparently you can't switch them on this one. I think the MK7 you can go from red to blue under the platter. There's a knob or something, a button. This one doesn't have that. It just has like how much you can start it up with the power and how much you can break it and slow it down. Which I keep it on minimum because I'm more of an audiophile. I'm not a DJ, so I don't need to stop and go real quick. Plus, I don't want to conserve the motor and make this thing last my lifetime. The problem is, I purchased this through Sweetwater because they gave me like a payment plan, and otherwise I wouldn't be able to have gotten it. Right now, I'd have to like wait a little while, and I have no patience. I'm dying to try check it out and listen to it. So I swallowed the bullet and I went for the black one because that's the only one they sell. At Sweetwater, they don't sell the silver one, which is, I guess they want to appeal more to DJers who want more of the black ones to hide at night when they're in the clubs. But I really, really, really hate the black one. I love the silver one. But I couldn't. The other places that sell the silver one, there's no payment plan, and I didn't want to do credit, so I went with the black one with Sweetwater because I was able to get it. I don't know if I'm going to return it and maybe when I have the money get a silver one, or if I'm going to hang on to it. I mean, the thing is, if I return it and I get a silver one from another company that's not a big name company like Sweetwater or Guitar Center or something, it's just like these little companies that you find online, so you don't know what you're getting. You don't know where it's been, what's going on, and also like shipping. I mean, you could break in shipping. The chance of getting this turntable and it not be broken, especially the top, the cover here, this thing, the plexiglass cover, is very hard to do. During shipping. This one came perfect. It came perfect in like 2 or 3 boxes with layers of bubble wrap, and it was just packed so good. It's in pristine, perfect condition. There's no flaws. I'm afraid, what if I return this and get a silver one, and I have to return it and I can't because there's an issue or something, and then because it's got a problem, something got messed up in shipping. So because this one's in such good shape through shipping, and I got a payment plan and I got it already. I'm starting to fall in love with it because of the sound, and I'll get into that in a minute. But I'm probably going to end up hanging on to it and just dealing with it, and maybe get the 1200G, probably when it's like $5,000-$6,000 in like 5 years. But I'll end up probably getting that in silver, hopefully, if they have it when I want it in the future. And then I'll just have two really nice turntables. And this one I'll figure out what to do, maybe sell it, or who knows. I got the box. I take really good care of my equipment, so it wouldn't be an issue to sell it or something in the future, or even just put it downstairs in the den or the living room or something and just have it there. Okay, so that's the aesthetics. I was able to get it, but only in the black. I just wish that Sweetwater would have sold the silver one. I'm so angry because I gave them business for something that I wish they had something else in a different color, and they don't. And it sucks. But I'm impatient, so it is what it is. Now, comparing this to the AudioTechnica turntable, okay? I got the same exact cartridge needle, the Nagauka MP200, same head shell as the other turntable. Everything's exactly the same. The only difference is the turntable. Audio equipment, everything's the same. I didn't change anything. So, listening to it compared to the other, first of all, what I noticed was, I got to back this camera up here. The first thing I noticed was the AudioTechnica turntable. I have the lid over here on my stereo system to keep the dust out of there, because when it was hooked up on the turntable, when it was up and I played music, it would go woo. When I turned it loud, it would start to vibrate really bad. And when it was down, if you tap here like that, just like that, boom, 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 you hear it in the speakers really bad. If I stop my feet, my heels on the ground, it picks it up. Not bad, but it picks it up, when you hear it. Even if I'm further over here and I tap, or down here, this thing is solid. I built this and it's freaking solid. But if I tap here, everything, you would hear it. A lot of noise. And you would hear the motor going when the record's turning. It's between songs and there's no sound. You hear like the hum. Even with the I got a filter on the receiver here. I should just take this off. Screw it. Over here I have a filter that I use, and it's a 30 hertz filter, and I keep that on when I use the turntable. I turn it off when I use other stuff like Bluetooth. But anyways, so that was the AudioTechnica turntable, okay? That was the negatives about it. The sound was great, phenomenal. It sounded really good. I had no complaints with the sound. I just never heard it. I haven't heard a Techniques since I was a child, and my father had the 1200 MK2 back in the 70s. And since then, I've never heard one before. And that sounded dynamite. And that's what I've been chasing. That's the sound I've been chasing my whole life. Okay, and I'm almost 50. So this sound compared to that one, at first, when I put the first record on, the first song, I think it was okay, it was last night. Oh, what was the first song? Oh yeah, it was West End Girls. Thompson Twins, I think it is. West End Girls. But I played that because it sounds really good on vinyl. I have a really good, really good condition on my vinyl of that album, that song. So I listened to that. It sounded perfect. It sounded dynamite. But I did notice, I was like, wait a second here. This doesn't sound much different than the AudioTechnica. The AudioTechnica was, let's say it's $500 now. Thinking very generously. $500, let's say, $400 or $500. This sucker was almost, with taxes and everything, was just a hair under. It was $1,900, just a hair under $2,000. So you figure this is 4.5 times the price of the AudioTechnica. Is it 4.5 times better? No freaking way. I don't see how anything could be, because that sounded pretty good, that system. But what this does that one didn't do was the flaws. If I'm playing a record and I'm tapping here, nothing. You don't hear a damn thing. If the lid's on, up or down, okay, up, if I turn it really loud with the bass, you do get the feedback, the lid. It does shake from the vibrations, but when the lid's down, I don't hear any. This won't it won't amplify. With the other one, the AudioTechnica, the lid down, doing this, it would amplify the sound. But when I took the lid off and put it over there, you would hear it, but it wouldn't be so loud, and it wouldn't boom, boom. It wouldn't be like hollow sounding. It'd be solid sounding, but you would hear it. So this one, I stomp on the floor with my heels, nothing. Okay, so the legs are a lot. I mean, they upgrade the legs a lot on these, which I'm going to do. But these, compared to the AudioTechnica, and those you can't take the legs off, so you can't even upgrade. That's why I had layers of stuff just to try to dampen it. This one, you just change the legs if these legs don't work. You get better ones, that are expensive, which I will. But these are great. I mean, they sound fantastic. It's no feedback. And then I played this album here. I played Sade, because that's just like nice, smooth, easy listening stuff, and it sounds good on vinyl. And I have like, shit, I got 1, 2, 3. I think I got 3 copies of 4, or another one somewhere else. So I have to listen to them and filter out the bad ones and keep the good one, because I got too many damn vinyls. So anyways, also this sounds a lot cleaner. When I played Sade, this sounded much cleaner than the AudioTechnica. Like it's either filtered more, or it's just a cleaner signal, better power. This one has a ground. I could hook up the ground to my Joaquin phono preamp, 2 preamp, so I could use the ground. I have a ground wire hooked up. The AudioTechnica doesn't have a ground wire. They claim that it's in the power, it's in the RCA or the power wire. I don't know, whatever the hell that's kind of like saying, oh yeah, they're what's this sucker called here that brings it back, whatever. But they say that theirs is same as Techniques, but theirs doesn't work. Well, at least mine didn't. On here it works. So the sound is better. Okay, this would be worth it if I got the silver one, but because I got the black one, I'm on the fence. I'm saying to myself, I would, because that one looks nicer because it's silver. It looks the only difference between this one and that one on the aesthetics is this little word right here, Techniques, SL-1210GR. Okay. Another thing is I don't like looking at a 1210. I like seeing a 1200. That's because that's the model that everyone loves. That's been around forever. The 1200. I hate the 1210. I hate the black. It's just so dark. And if it was black, at least if I could do the red lights, I would like it a hair better. But I don't know, man. It's a tough call. It's really a tough call, and I only have a couple weeks to make up a decision. I have a good turntable that works just fine. So I don't know. And this one's in good condition, so I don't want to get screwed and get one that's broken or something or has a problem. You know what I'm saying? So the smart decision is to keep this and just get used to it and deal with it, which I'm probably going to end up doing. Otherwise I would have done it already. Today I would have been packing it up and shipping it out. So it's a tough call. If there was a Sweetwater store down the street and I could just bring it over there and return it real quick, it'd be done already. It would have been done this morning, first thing. But because you have to pack it, talk to their departments, and they switch it back. It's a pain in the ass. I just don't feel like dealing with people and doing all that. So I'm probably going to end up keeping it and just dealing with it being black. It is what it is. Ah, man. But then I'm going to have to get the 1200G in silver in the future and upgrade. Okay? But it's so freaking expensive. And I don't want to pay that much for a I don't want to pay over $2,000 for a turntable. You shouldn't have to. $2,000 should be the limit. If you're going up more than that, it's more of a mental thing. It's, the sound can only get so good. You're just looking to impress yourself, with saying, wow, look at this thing. It's got a platter that's like 5 inches thick. Oh my God, it's on stilts and shit that come with it, whatever. But I'm old school. I like the old, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a wood cover. What do they call it? A wood plinth that it'll sit in. So at least the walls will be wood and it'll match this receiver right here. And then the top will be just black. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to get everything like the wheels. I'm not getting black. I'm getting silver. I'm getting everything so I'm planning ahead. I'm going to get everything that's going to match and be aesthetically for the G. Because that's what I'm going to end up going with. I know it. I already know it. It's going to happen one day. I'm just going to just fuck it, sign it and take it and buy it. And that's okay, you know, even if it's 10 years down the road, if I'm alive in 20 years down the road, whatever, that'd be my retirement gift for myself when I retire in 20 years or whatever it is. So yeah, that's my review on this Technics GR. It's, if you're just like, if you're not crazy, not chasing that sound from 1976, then get yourself the AudioTechnica. You know, if I could do it again and I didn't have any turntable and I didn't want to go this far, I would get the Fluence, the RT85, the wood. It's like a dark wood color. I would get that, and I'd be very happy with that. Belt-driven turntable. It has an automatic return. Another thing I have a complaint about this that everybody else complains about, which I didn't believe. I figured it would have been fixed by now. This freaking lever over here to lift up the queuing arm. It's, oh wow, it's cheap. It's cheap. What's going on? I paid $2,000 and that a Q lever like that? The AudioTechnica Q level was 10 times better. I wish I could put the AudioTechnica Q lever on this turntable. You know, I don't know what's going on here. They're trying to save money, but that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I have a video I was doing, and I messed up the video because the freaking needle was so high. All right, this is what the deal is here. Let me show you, okay? You put it, it's down, okay? It's down all the way, whatever. You lift up your Q lever, okay? It feels like, first of all, it feels like you got to move it a lot before it even grabs the arm and lifts it. And it just feels like it just lifts it a tiny little bit, but it goes up so high. And then look, it falls back. Can you see that? You can't because everything's black. You can't see shit. It's black. It's not silver. That's another problem. You can't even see it. I can't even show you because it's not silver. But here, it's up and it falls down a little bit, and then you put it on top of the record, okay? I'm sorry, here. There you go. You put it on top of the record, and it's like a mile above the record, so when I lowered it, and when you lowered it, it goes down fast. There's no slowness at all. I don't want to mess up the needle, but okay, I'm going to get to another thing there. But when you put it down, it goes down so fast. It's like my fingers aren't steady. I have like a little shake sometimes, so I don't want to mess up my record and use my hand. You know, if you have sturdy hands, then this wouldn't be a problem for you, but most people don't. Eventually. So that's another problem. And then when I put it back, here's where the AudioTechnica one is much better. When you put it back, right, it doesn't sit on the tone arm support right here, the lock and tone arm thing. That thing's too low. That should be higher. Because when you put it on there and you have to push it down and it pushes the queuing system down to get it to lay on there so you can lock it. Okay? The problem is now the Q level should be up because on the AudioTechnica, when you put it up, it stays up when it's locked in position. So when you open it and you put it on top of the record, it just sits and floats. This one, it's going to go down and hit the record. Because when you put it down on the locking thing here, it pushes it down lower than the height of the record, which is stupid. So basically when you unlock it, you always see, look at this. Basically when you unlock it, you always have to push this lever up all the way. Even though, and when it falls back like a 1/16 of an inch, it falls back. So maybe it is defaulted. I don't know. Maybe I should get the silver one in time. I don't know. I have to think about it. So it's a tough one. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so that queuing arm sucks. It's shit. It's crap. Mierda. So that's my review on the Technics SL-1210GR.